Hey everybody, welcome back to the layout. We've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about in today's layout update, and quite a few of the things are actually right here in this frame. So we'll start right here. Let's dive in. So as convention operating session prep was winding down, I found myself surprisingly with a little bit of extra time after I got the things I wanted to make sure I got done completed. And I started having the chance to work on some projects that were actually really just kind of icing on the cake as far as the op session is concerned. And one of them is this little yellow dot, which I'll zoom in on a little bit here. That is a MacRail derail that I was able to get installed on the layout prior to the op session. It came in a quantity of 2. And I had them both on the layout and right here in Penyan, but unfortunately, one of them, for some reason, I keep getting trip pins that catch it all the time. And I'm not entirely sure why, but that's something that we'll have to address in the future. If anybody else has any experience with MacRail derails, let me know. I'm interested to know if anybody else has had that problem, and if so, what's the workaround for it? All ears as far as that's concerned. So speaking of the convention, I did want to just kind of spend a little bit of time talking about the convention and what my thoughts were, because it was my first NMRA convention of any sort. I really enjoyed it. It was a memorable experience. You know, the op session on the layout went as good as I've ever had an op session go, surprisingly. We had a single issue with a derailment in Geneva Yard, and everything else for the most part went really smoothly. All of the new track work from last layout update and the video before that performed great. Everything went nice and smooth as far as that's concerned. So really, I'm overjoyed with how the hard work on the layout paid off for that op session, and really looking forward to now being able to pivot from being concerned about track work and debugging things into really being able to focus on scenery and other things that I've been really looking to sink my teeth into on this layout. So there's going to be some really fun stuff coming in the future as far as that's concerned. Some other really big news as well that I can't share just yet, but look out for in future updates about not just this layout, but maybe some other projects as well. So keep an eye out. If you're not subscribed already, just make sure that you do so, because there's big things that are going to be coming for this channel. It should be really exciting. What really spurred on that wanting to discuss the convention was this trailing car in this contest that I pulled in here to Penyan is actually something that I won as a raffle prize at the convention, which I was really excited about. Can always use more plastic pellet cars. But I also got a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm really excited to test out as well. So I'll take you through everything that I won here pretty quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's all pretty cool stuff, so I figured I'll just show you what I got. I got this box of various fences from the Tichy Train Group, and apparently all 3.5 millimeter. Pretty neat there. I think what I'm going to do with some of that fencing is actually along my grapevine scene over here to the right of where we are. Between the house and the grapes, I think one of these fences will do a great job of kind of dividing those two scenes, so that'll probably be where one of those ends up, which is pretty neat. And then a bunch of other goodies as well. I got a Scale Trains gift certificate, which I'm looking forward to using. Hoping that there's some announcements coming from them in the next couple of months that are going to be worth me using that certificate for. We'll see. Maybe a SD40-2 would be really nice. But anyway, also got some really cool, I believe 3D printed concrete culverts as well, which I'm looking forward to using. More than likely, this will actually be on the Geneva Industrial Complex side of the layout. I'll be able to use those. And then this is the thing that I'm actually kind of subtly the most excited about. This is a traffic light circuit, which will be really cool when I go to build my downtown Geneva area. The intersection there right in town, I should be able to use this to automate some traffic lights there in the scene and really provide some more life. But that also brings me to something that's going to have to change in the next, I don't know, year probably on the layout. One of the things I never really did when I initially built all the benchwork was run an accessory bus. So that's something that is going to have to change here in the next couple of months if I'm going to be adding in lighting features here or there. And something I'm not really looking forward to very much, but definitely needs to get done. So now we'll take a quick look at one of the other big projects that got done over the last couple of weeks, and that's these two tank cars that are sitting right here in the scene. These are a pair of Walther's Gold Line old run tank cars that I started working on in a live stream, if anybody caught that, but ended up finishing them off camera just because I wanted to get them done and they were taking up space on the workbench. But I'm really happy with how they turned out. Did a little bit of weathering. The 4519 got some really fun patches per the prototype. And yeah, they're going to be welcome additions to the Canandaigua wine fleet on the layout, which should be pretty cool. Needed a couple more cars there to kind of fill out that pool of cars. And we're getting really close now to having almost all the cars we should need operationally for the layout. I think I need a couple more cars for the Andersons and Geneva in order to finish that pull out. And that's really it. So some of the more keen-eyed viewers might have noticed that there's another reason that we started over here in the Penyan side of the layout for this layout update. And that's that there's been a little bit more scenery progress here on the back side of the tracks. A couple of those wire-formed trees that I've been working on have been placed down here in the back of the scene, these two right here. I'm really happy with how these two turned out in particular because I started using an additional new product when I was working on these two trees. That's this modeling paste from Liquitex. I still went over the top of the trees with a couple of layers of Mod Podge first, but the final layer is this Liquitex, which I think gives kind of a really good-looking bark texture to the tree. So I'm really happy with how those turned out. In addition to that, we used a lot more of the forest floor blend that we made in the previous video. If you didn't check that out, it's really cool. All it is a bunch of sawdust that I've put through a food processor and processed down to a finer consistency so that it looked like fallen leaf material, and it'll be great for forest floor. Eventually, this entire area of the layout back here is going to be all treed in, so it'll look nice that it's kind of a forest floor blend back there. So the change here might not be quite as easy to recognize right off the bat, but 5659 here was the only locomotive I had on the roster that had a Tsunami 2 decoder in it, and it doesn't anymore. I pulled the Tsunami 2 decoder out and installed a 21-pin ESU V5 decoder along with a Nix-Train's Decoder Buddy, which that was an interesting experience. I do like how smooth the Decoder Buddy install went, but as far as my application is concerned, I don't see myself needing many more of those, just because when I do the old run Atlas DCC installs on the B23s, it's just easier to gut it and put an Atlas board in there. This one, I had an extra 21 pin Locksound V5 that I pulled out of that Scaletrains CN-9 and threw that in here before I sold the -9. But yeah, I'm really excited to have a full ESU fleet now. It really makes maintenance of these locos a lot easier to just be able to throw them on the programming track anytime I need to make changes and just use the ESU lock programmer. Yeah, super easy system to use. So another fun thing that happened while I was at the convention, I checked out Southern Tier Grain Modeler Supply, which is owned by Kevin Tully. He had his full array of products out there and available for sale. So I literally walked up with a picture of the facilities at Phelps Junction for Shepherd Grain, and he walked around his entire booth and gave me exactly what I'm going to need in order to put it together. So this is another fun project that I'm really looking forward to being able to do here in the near future. Should be pretty interesting. So another fun project that got completed over the last month or so here on the layout is this Late Night Hobbies single-story flex structure style C. Basically, the style C is the almost false front building meant to go kind of flush up against a backdrop. It's a pretty cool structure to build, pretty straightforward. Joey did a really good job of designing these to be very intuitive. I'm a relative novice as far as craftsman kits and kit building in general is concerned, and I kind of just dove into this head first without even looking at the instructions, and I think it turned out really good, given that I didn't bother to read instructions. But I'm happy with how it turned out. More than likely, this is going to end up being sort of part of a larger facility here at the OBE team track area of the layout. I actually went around and did a bunch of recon over the last weekend. Flew my drone over a bunch of different industries that I model here on the layout to try to get a better understanding of what sort of structures I'm going to need in order to give me a good flavor for what each of the structures is. And the OBE team track here, I think this flex structure will actually end up being sort of a small piece in a larger structure here once everything's said and done. We'll see. It's great to sit here for now, though. I'm happy with how the kit turned out, and yeah, definitely props to Joey for creating all of these kits. I'm super excited for his Finger Lakes Railway office building that's going to be coming out, and I'm super appreciative that that this is part of his hobby, because it's creating a lot of great buildings for us modelers to put together at a really great price point as well, I'll say. The prices on his buildings are incredibly reasonable compared to some craftsman kits, so excited to build more. So as I walk around the layout here, you'll kind of get a better feel for what the final thing is that we completed on the layout. And if you saw one of my YouTube shorts, you'll already know this, but we got all of the fascia up on the layout, and this is the biggest project that I focused on after the last layout update. All of the fascia is up, painted, and pretty much in its final state. Really love the way this turned out. It really changed the look of the layout, makes it feel a little bit more complete than it really is. All right, so that's it for this layout update, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you made it all the way to the end here, just make sure to let me know in the comment section what you thought. And if you're new to the channel, again, be sure to subscribe. There's a ton of fun stuff coming to the channel in the next couple of months, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. So take care, everybody. See you in the next one.